Well, good day. So it's still the Halloween season, so I still want to talk about, some ghost stories and candy. And I still want to talk about superheroes, which means I am going to talk about Teen Titans Go Halloween episode. Well, at least one of them. And then I'll talk about some other things, I guess. So, alright, let's go. Alright, so it's Halloween time, and the Teen Titans, who consist of Robin, Raven, Starfire, Cyborg, and Beast Boy, they're decorating the old Titans Tower, making it look all spooky and stuff for Halloween. But as Robin is ready to play the classic Halloween song, Scary Figure Dance, BAM! The crime alert alarm goes off. Turns out, the villainous team called the Hive are up to no good. And the roll call for the Hive is Jinx, Mammoth, Billy Numerous, Gizmo, and Seymour, which is an awesome name. Okay, but seriously now, the Hive ransacked the Jump City Candy Factory and are planning on blowing it up after so nobody else can have candy on Halloween, which is like the cruelest crime of all. Suddenly, the Teen Titans show up to save the candy, and oh crap, it's all gone. The factory got blown up real good like. There's no candy for the Teen Titans this Halloween.
Oh, merciless fate! How cruel is thy sting! But
the Hive have turned their laser sights onto the Teen Titans. But as Gizmo says that the Titans don't have a ghost of a chance to stop them, that gives Robin an idea. He huddles the Titans all together and lets them get obliterated, so they're all dead and gone. What? That's the plan? Like, what was your plan? Guilting the Hive into, like, surrendering themselves? Didn't quite work, because the Happy Hive go back to Hive Tower where they are celebrating Halloween with all the candy in town. But things get really wonky in Hive Tower. Turns out the place is haunted. Seymour wants to call those guys who bust ghosts, but Jinx has a better plan. She sets up a seance to call the ghosts out and confront them. Turns out the ghosts are the Teen Titans. Robin's crap-tastic plan was to die and haunt the Hive so they can ruin the Hive's Halloween, which the Titans all agree is a really stupid plan, but too late now, right? Even though the Titans are not quite scary at first, man, things get really real soon. Beast Boy and Cyborg torment Gizmo and Billy Numerous in an epic Ghostbuster style, slamming them up and all that. Raven and Starfire torment and then possess Mammoth and Seymour before they take off, to eat some pizza. Being dead makes you hungry, I guess. And Robin gives Jinx a true horror story of
an awkward elevator ride,
which is, the most realistically horrifying of all these haunting shenanigans. The Hive figure that they're totally hosed, but Gizmo's got a plan. He knows who to call. 911. So it turns out some doctors put the Titan ghosts back in their bodies, and now the Titans are alive again. I thought their bodies were completely disintegrated earlier, and how do you medically put ghosts back into a body anyway? Huh. Never seen Egon Spengler do that, and if Egon Spengler couldn't do it, it can't be done. Nonetheless, I guess it happened. So the Titans, are alive in that, but they still feel pretty good for themselves because at least they ruined Hive's Halloween in the same way that the Hive ruined the Titans' Halloween. But turns out it was the best Halloween ever. The Titans had a lot of fun being ghosts, and the Hive were like, wow, we were actually in a haunted house. You can't get more Halloweeny than that. So, good times all around, yay! So, now that everything's all good there's only one thing to do, which is to have both teams team up to do a fancy dance segment for the title song, Scary Figure Dance. And yeah, all is good, man. And so with that is the end of this spooky tale. Yeah, hey, Teen Titans Go, hey? But it is what it is, right? It's like a really short episode, so it's not that bad to get through. This isn't one of those shows you'd probably binge watch for hours on end because you would just go insane. But for something like this, pretty quick and easy. You have a cheesy Halloween episode, but it's actually pretty decent. Like, it is what you get from the show. Silly zaniness, and somehow a superhero, supervillain fight that goes on, even though it's really ridiculous in this one. But at least it does hit all of the different Halloween kind of hallmarks, right? You got everyone in costumes, you got everyone excited for candy, until it gets bloated up, I guess. You have the ghost stories, you know, you have like the music. And well, yeah, the music. I guess that's one thing that kind of bugs me about Halloween. Like, let's say for Christmas, man, there is an overabundance of music you can play at Christmas. But for Halloween, well, what can you really play? As is parodied in this episode, the main song, Scary Figure Dance, you know, it's basically the Monster Mash. So outside of that song, what else can you really play for Halloween? Well, let's see, yeah, there's Monster Mash, there's the Ghostbusters theme song, Thriller by Michael Jackson, Boris the Spider by The Who, I guess? Not a whole lot of songs to choose from, but in this episode they do pay homage to a bunch of different songs in here, which I'll get into later, so there is actually quite a bit of stuff in this episode that's pretty cool. Other than it being ridiculous, but it is funny, man. Like, it's a cheesy, charming little kind of show. But yeah, so let's go take a looky-loo at some behind-the-scenes stuff and all the other things kind of going on in this episode over here. Okay, so as per usual, let's go back to the very beginning. The original Teen Titans debuted in The Brave and the Bold number 54 in 1964. That original team was adapted into the first Teen Titans cartoon in 1967, and that original Titans lineup consisted of Wonder Girl, Kid Flash, Aqualad, Speedy, and Robin, where, you know, Robin was in the comics but not in the cartoon because of copyright reasons with the live-action Batman show and all. And this featured series of Teen Titans Go, which was based on, well, the previous cartoon series of Teen Titans from 2003. And that series and this series was an adaptation of The New Teen Titans, which was a relaunch of the team that re-debuted in DC Comics Presents number 26 in 1980. That new team still had Robin, Wonder Girl, and Kid Flash from the original team, but it also added a revamped version of Beast Boy, who was now called Changeling at that time, and it also introduced new characters of Cyborg, Raven, and Starfire. And that's pretty much a popular version of the team, you know, without Wonder Girl and Kid Flash. And if we just quickly go to the villains of the episode, the Hive, which is an acronym for Hierarchy of International Vengeance and Extermination. Well, they first appeared in The New Teen Titans number 2 in 1980, but that's like more a group of like adult villains, right? Not the teenagers from the show. The teenagers? Well, they are actually from the Hive Academy, you know, like the school for the Hive, I guess. And that's kind of more the focus, you know, with these Hive kind of fighting against the Titans. And now, if we get to the actual episode itself, like, I do love how there are quite a bit of pop culture references kind of stuffed in there hither and dither. And we'll start those references with my childhood favorite, the Ghostbusters. Because A, there's obviously ghosts, you know, in it. But once the Hive realize that the place is haunted, Seymour wants to call the guys who are good at busting ghosts, which would of course be the Ghostbusters, and his phone is even flashing a low-grade version of the iconic Ghostbusters logo. After Jinx completely vetoed that idea, Mammoth got sad because busting makes him feel good, which is a lyric from the legendary Ghostbusters theme song. Also, when Ghost Beast Boy and Ghost Cyborg are haunting Billy Numerous and Gizmo, it's very much a scene from the first Ghostbusters movie. Right? Like, the music is very Ghostbustery in that scene. Billy Numerous and Gizmo are running down a hallway and eventually get completely slimed, which is quite the homage to Peter Venkman getting slimed by Slimer in the Sedgwick Hotel. And even with like the ghosts and all that stuff, right? Like all the Teen Titan ghosts kind of look pretty much the same version of Ghost, except for Raven, because Ghost Raven resembles the ghosts from the legendary Pac-Man video game, or even Miss Pac-Man as well, which is just an awesome look, man. Billy Numerous and Seymour are watching a spooky movie before the hauntings happen, and that movie just happens to be Nosferatu. a vampire movie that lost a copyright lawsuit to the Bram Stoker estate, being a ripoff of Dracula, but if you've seen it, it's still actually a pretty classic movie. Another classic movie would be the movie Halloween. So, during the seance scene, the piano music being played is very similar to the main theme from Halloween, which really sets the mood for the scene. But like, the Halloween movie wasn't about seances and ghosts and stuff like that, so it's kind of funny they added that, but hey man, it's still a pretty cool reference. And of course, the main part of the episode, the song called The Scary Figure Dance, is of course a homage to the Halloween classic song Monster Mash. And the dancing sequence that followed with the Titans and the Hive was a homage to the legendary Frankenstein film from 1931 and all these subsequent sequels, you know? Which is like one of my favorite movies, so I'm really glad that they tossed that in there. And also in that dance sequence, it's awesome that Raven is portrayed as an actual raven. Bit of a callback to Edgar Allan Poe.
Quoth the raven, nevermore.
Yeah! And speaking of Nevermore, I guess there's nothing more to this video, so I guess I'll end things here. So yeah, with this, that, those, and other things, I guess say that's that! Right on, and there you go. So thanks for watching the video. I hope you liked it as much as I did making it. Also, feel free to check out the source material that I featured in this video. And if you want to leave a comment on anything you may have liked or things I might have missed in this, you know, feel free to do so. Or anything else, you know, just to say hi. That's cool too. And other than that, you know, have a great day. Thanks.